Hey YouTube family, welcome back to my channel. It's Maria. Guys, I have been sleeping on making this video, but it is finally here. Today we're gonna get into what you need to know about co-ops and condos, or really the difference between co-ops and condos. This is definitely a great exam topic, so we're gonna get into it today. I'm gonna put the prep agent link down below with my discount code, as well as my notebook link if you wanna help yourself with time management. It's really helpful. And before we begin, I did want to give you guys just a few updates on what's going on with my real estate career. So I believe I mentioned it in my last video, but I did get my first accepted offer. And we are going into contract, so I'm really excited for that. As long as everything closes, I am gonna eventually make a video about the whole breakdown and what I actually made on the deal after everything. So please stay tuned for that. I also showed my first rental this week, and it looks like the landlord is going to go with the people that I showed the rental to. So if that closes, I will definitely keep you guys updated on that and give you guys a little breakdown on how it's like working with rentals as well. And it turns out that one of my close friends is now looking for a house. So now we are working together to find her a house, and it's pretty fun working with my friend, to be honest. So yeah, guys, if you like the content on this channel and you want to follow along for the journey, please feel free. I really appreciate it. I love all the comments I get from you guys. But otherwise, let's get into condos and co-ops. Guys, so to start, basically, we want to know the difference between a condo and a co-op. And there are some distinct differences between the two. So we're gonna start with a co-op. A co-op differs from a condo because you don't get a deed. You don't get a deed to show ownership. Instead, you get stocks, or otherwise known as shares in a corporation. That's how you show that you have ownership in your co-op. And those stocks or shares are considered technically personal property when it comes to a co-op. You also have something called a proprietary lease when it comes to co-ops. Proprietary lease basically is like a regular lease. It gives the person living there the right to occupy the space, otherwise known as an occupancy agreement. And also, guys, when it comes to co-ops, they can technically set it up as a fee simple estate or a leasehold estate. From what I've been told, a lot of the time people do a co-op as a proprietary lease or a leasehold estate because they're not planning on living there forever. So when you think of co-ops, I want you to think of occupancy agreement, proprietary lease. I want you guys to group those words together. Something to note about co-ops also is they have a board of directors as opposed to condos that have a board of managers. And the thing about board of directors is if somebody wants to move into a co-op unit, the board of directors is actually allowed to discuss if they can move in or not, and they can actually deny you without giving a reason why. They don't have to tell you why they denied you. So that's also something to note about co-ops. Co-ops also don't technically have a mortgage, but they do have something called the underlying mortgage. And what the underlying mortgage is, you pay something called maintenance charges or maintenance fees monthly. And if enough people in the unit do not pay the fees, the whole entire building can actually go under. So that's why it's called an underlying mortgage. You don't technically have a mortgage. Condos have a mortgage. If enough people do not pay their monthly maintenance fee, the whole property can go into foreclosure. Okay, so now we're gonna get into condos. So unlike a co-op, someone who lives in a condo actually owns it. They have fee simple ownership over their unit. They can leave it to whoever they want. They can sell it. They can do whatever with it because it's completely theirs. And to show ownership, they have an actual deed, which is different from a co-op because, like I just explained, co-ops have shares in a corporation. A condo, they actually own it. They actually have a deed. And also, condo owners have actual mortgages. There's nothing called an underlying mortgage or anything of that nature when it comes to condos. Condo owners also have something called the board of managers. And like I said, co-ops have a board of directors. Condos have a board of managers. And instead of maintenance charges, because that's co-op, condos have something called common charges they have to pay. Also, something good to know about condos is if you're interested in getting a condo unit, there's something called a letter of intent that you can send. So you send a letter of intent if you want to reserve the possible purchase of a condo unit. Also with condos, we have something called covenants, conditions, and restrictions, or otherwise known as CCRs. And CCRs are basically rules or restrictions that come with living at that specific condo. For example, maybe they don't want for sale signs signs on the front yard, or they don't want you to paint the door bright red. If everyone else's door is painted black, they want to just keep it that way. So there are just certain rules or restrictions that come with living in a condo. And also guys, so now I want to get into some things that apply to condos and co-ops, things they have in common. So a condo and a co-op could both have something called reserves. So reserves are basically emergency money. Let's say the roof is caving in or something exploded. Reserves are emergency money set aside. So in case your roof is all of a sudden caving in, we have the money to now fix it, as opposed to you now not knowing where you're going to get the money from. We also have something called bylaws and house rules. So bylaws are basically the way the board of managers for condos and the board of directors for co-ops are going to run the units or run the building. So it's like basically the way it's like governed. For example, the board of directors coming together to decide who is allowed to move into a unit or who's not. And then we have something called house rules. So house rules are basically like day-to-day activity rules, habitation rules, things that just help people live without conflict. So for example, a house rule could be like maybe no baby strollers in the hallway, no running in the hallway, that kind of stuff. No blasting loud music after a certain time. Basically anything that could cause a problem with other people would be considered a house rule that they could create. Lastly, we have something called an offering plan or an offering statement. So the offering statement is basically like a document that shows the plan to either convert a building or just build a brand new building. And if the offering statement or offering plan is approved, it is known as the Black Book. So yeah, guys, that is the most important stuff to know regarding condos and co-ops. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and gained value from it. And if you did, please make sure to like and subscribe. I will put the prep agent link down below with my discount code, as well as my notebook, which also does come in Prime. And please feel free to comment below anything, any videos you want to see, anything like that. I would love to hear it. But that's all I have for today, guys. Thank you so much. I will see you guys next week.